Okay, I cannot nor should I promise you that I'm going to be more grounded and stable than I was last week because the energy afoot, or perhaps my version of what it is that is transpiring in my world, it's shake, rattling, and rolling. And this has everything to do with um, my quest, if you have it, Sagittarius, my quest to discover the most effective way to engage with soul awareness. That is my penchant. Now, when I look at this week to see what's transpiring, I come to, let's see, 21st. Looks like Thursday. Lot of stuff going on. Now, we start this week out, no planets out of bounds because the moon came back in bounds at the end of the week before. Mercury came back in bounds last week. That ain't all there is to planets being out of bounds, however. We have a new one that's going to be out of bounds for the next month starting this week. It will be Mars, and that also is part of that Thursday dance with the sun shifting from, adventurous Sagittarius into, that practical Capricornian, control factor that really wants to, set things on a directive that can be contained in some fashion. Well, I don't know that my version of soul awareness that has been tweaking my ponderings quite substantially as of late really cottons on to the idea of control being something that I should pay attention to. There are control factors always in play, and we each must make that determination as to how we want to engage with that. So let's go get the chart for this week and see what it has to say. When I looked at all the energy of what is coming down for the week. The sun shifting into Capricorn. Always a biggie when a planet changes from one sign to the next. And it's the sun. The sun is, our vitality. And the vitality of Sagittarius, which has such a driven, explorative nature to it, with no end in sight, coming into Capricorn. What shall we say about Capricorn that might be able to be effectively translated as we shift from that quest essence? Because I can't really say that any sign doesn't have a quest factor to it. Capricorn's quest. Do you know where your mountain is? Do you know what your mountain is? There's a thing about Capricorn, highest sign in the zodiac here, right at the top of the chart. So the aspiration to find and climb your mountain of experience that attainment factor of being able to reach some version of what it means to be at the top of your field. This is Capricorn. Choose wisely on the particular mountain you set as your intention to climb, because there are options. Choose wisely. It would be kind of anti-climb, this is climbing, climatic, to discover yourself up the side of your mountain, knowing full well that this was your quest to really be at the top of this mountain, only to discover when scanning the horizon that there was another mountain out there that seemed to have your name on it. Nobody said it would be easy to attain what it is that you came on earth to attain. Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. How's your Mercury retrograde dance doing with Mercury in the early degrees of Capricorn? As we begin this week, Mercury is in this really nice trine down here to Jupiter retrograde. Two retrogrades having communication with one another. And you must always keep in mind, if Jupiter's in the equation, retrograde or not, holding back is not really one of the factors that you should, cotton into, as it were, as if that was the be-all and end-all of what it is that is required of you. And Mercury, how we think, how we communicate, what is it that, is attempting to get our attention right now? What in that Capricorn matrix is asking us to say something, think about something that has to do with leadership, organizational creativity? What is it that is there that really wants us to dig deeper into? Experiment, I think, is a good key word for Mercury retrograde. Test the waters. Is this going to work? Is that going to work better? The options, it's Mercury retrograde. Coming up with a final decision on that kind of quest may not be exactly what we are required to do right now. This is water testing time. Is the water just right? Is it too cold? Is it too hot? These are factors that need to be pondered rather well. So I'm just going to bump the chart ahead right off the bat this week and go to Thursday. This is Thursday. You can kind of see the sun here at 29 degrees 30 minutes. This is a chart cast for 8 o'clock in the morning. So at 8 o'clock in the evening, the sun will have moved its 30 degrees. Just out of curiosity, let's look at the declinations. These are the declinations, and the declination is, the Earth sits at a 23 degrees, 26-minute tilt to the ecliptic, or the apparent path that is us moving around the sun. And the sun never goes beyond that 23, 26. And here you can kind of see, this is the declination row, 23 degrees, 26 minutes. The sun and south, if you can kind of picture that as we go around the sun, right now we're 21 degrees, 0 degrees Capricorn. We've basically reached that part where the northern hemisphere, we're rotating around in our path, is furthest away from the sun for this time of year. Therefore, we have winter our cold time of the year, but the sun reaches now 23 degrees 26 minutes south. It's as far south from our Earth perspective as it's going to be. And for those people in the southern equator, south of the equator, this is when the sun is actually the brightest for them. They get the longest day of the year for the southern hemisphere. It's summertime down there. Or summer is coming. That's the beginning of summer, theoretically. But on this very same day, if we just go down this thing, we get here to Mars. Mars, 23 degrees, 29 minutes. Mars has gone out of bounds. It went out of bounds yesterday. And will be out of bounds until, I think it's about the 26th of January. So Mars is out of bounds. It's got that, what is that nature? The wildness, independence, unrestrained unpredictability. Mars, which is action, impulse, that drive to do something, out of bounds for the next month. And currently, it's dancing its way through Sagittarius. What limits do I need to transcend? This is Sagittarius, after all. What's out there? What's beyond the limits of what it is that I know that beckons my attention? I need to do something about it. I need to go there. I'm driven by this Martian out of bounds energy, to participate in an area that I haven't been to before. And this is where my soul right now is kind of like saying, yeah, Jeff, what else is there that is, in that soul dance process that you can be enhanced with while here on Earth? Anyway, by 8 o'clock this evening, the sun, this is Thursday, is going to jump on over into Capricorn. Mars has gone out of bounds. And on this very same day, Venus, which is moving along at a very good clip, has gone into its opposition with Uranus down here in Taurus. Uranus, picture, if you will, shake, rattle, and roll. When I was contemplating this Venus, because I brought up the Venus in Scorpio last week as kind of the art of dying. Well, you take that, this was the image that came to me this morning. Just hang with me. Uranus, the art of dying, the kernel of corn, finding itself in a popcorn maker. Uranus is heating things up. It's shaking things. It's causing the popcorn to burst. Boom, 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 boom. Sometimes those kernels don't pop. That's an option. Always on the table. But that's the kind of energy that this Venus right now is going through. Venus over there in the sign of Scorpio. What are the mysteries of life that beckon to you? Are there secrets that you really sense or that you know? And are you willing to share these secrets with others? Because if you are they really going to remain secret? And thus, the question comes up, is secretiveness actually relevant to soul growth? I doubt it. There's a version of essential soul that is alive forever. To try and maintain secretiveness in a zone of soul influence that includes everything would be pointless. So, in my soul quest for appropriate artistic dying, being shake, rattled, and rolled on this very same day when we shift the sun from Sagittarius into Capricorn, I get the sensation I am bouncing from mountaintop to mountaintop to mountaintop. It's an energetic dance. Mars is out of bounds. It will not hold me back. It can't. Now, just for a little extra entertainment, after all, Mercury is still trudging backwards through Capricorn. If we go to Friday, we discover that, oh, look at that. Mercury and the Sun holding hands right now. Mercury's retrograde, which means that it's between the Sun and Earth. Just out of curiosity, let's take a look at the declination, which is the latitude. Mercury's at 21 degrees south, so it's actually right down there with the Sun. It's probably close enough to actually be traveling in between the coronal glow of the Sun and Earth. Very, very close. So there's an energy that's at work there to be paying attention to. Now, Sun and Mercury in the Cassimi position. What is Cassimi? Cassimi's in the heart of the Sun. And when a planet is in that position, within that degree of this solar orb, it is being given permission by that solar essence to step into a position of authority. Capricorn, sign of authority, to make the call, as it were. Now, this is still Mercury retrograde that we're talking about here. At that very first degree of Capricorn. What does the Sabian symbol have to say about that first degree of Capricorn? It reads, an Indian chief claims power from the assembled tribe. And the keynote, the power and responsibility implied in any claim for leadership. Now, we here in the North American United States see a substantial dance afoot, as there are those attempting to claim authority. Remember, with authority along comes responsibility. This is also another good Capricornian term. Some Capricornian terms to contemplate: cautiousness, wisdom, self-control, maturity. How about integrity? How many of those currently seeking these positions of authority actually infuse their lives with enough integrity that we sense they are responsible or have responsibility for what that position of authority represents. This is a foot. This is Capricorn, that is at work. Might one be able to perceive that Mars right now, out of bounds, could be instigating, inspiring, an impulsive kind of action that, burges on that border between integrity and something else that doesn't quite carry that same panache. How we perceive it, you and I, through our own integrity, will inform us what is the appropriate step to take, who to listen to, and who to say, I don't think so. It's a new energy afoot this week as we move into the sign of Capricorn. We all have Capricorn as part of us. We have to ask ourselves, how is my integrity? From my perspective, doesn't necessarily have to be yours, but from the soul essence of what I sense, my soul came on this planet to live into. Am I allowing the visions, the insight of what being a soul actually carries at the level of responsibility for making sure that I am living essentially and clearly in a way that can expand that soul awareness. This is my mission. And I want to invite all aware souls into this matrix as you need to be. It's not necessarily the same as what I am sensing, but there is a connective fiber of awareness that soul to soul, we know each other. And as such, there are things that we need to accomplish with our fellow soul beings while here on planet Earth to allow for the greater soul awareness to grow. Yes. So we will continue now. As you can see, Saturday, Mercury goes back into Sagittarius. And the Mars and the Mercury, that Mars out of bounds, heading toward Mercury, which is heading toward Mars. And they're going to cross paths. Is your thinking out of the box? You're going to feel impulses from that Mars out of bounds to take chances. This is the learning process, experimenting with life. This is Sagittarius where this is happening. What else is there that might beckon your attention right now? Are there stones that you have forgotten to overturn on your path? These are the questions that come to me at the moment in this week, heading up to Christmas at the end of the year and the beginning of 2024. There's magic afoot. Can you feel it? Whoa. Hopefully my feet didn't go too far off the ground in this. But there's some essential energy that I'm really tuned into that is asking me to ask you to participate with me in this dance of life that is seeking, some kind of new musical context. The muses, they're alive. They're energetically asking us, do you hear what it is that is going on? Can you move to the sound of life that's asking you to participate with us in this vibrant pulse, the pulse of living? Come, we have things to do together. That's all I have for this week. And I thank you for participating. And next week, it will be Happy Jingle Time. Christmas is coming on Monday. So, celebrate it or not. It doesn't really matter what your particular spiritual leanings are from a soul. It does not matter. We are still, as soul beings, all of one spirit. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Oh my God, that reminds me. Last night, my wife and I stumbled into a replay of the Willie Nelson 90th birthday celebration that took place back in April of this year. And the quantity, quality, and variety of musicians and music that was offered during that long performance last night was absolutely phenomenal. Just the inspiration, breathing in an energy, a revolutionary kind of energy that Willie represents. And, just sensing what else is there for me to discover in this moment? I ask you, what else is for you to discover in this moment? Don't try and do it alone. Oh, no, not. We are invited to do it together. That is the reason for our souls coming to this particular realm of overt sensation, to experiment, to grow, to discover, how big am I? How big are we? I will let you go with those thoughts this week. Please use this Mercury retrograde cycle to investigate. Ask questions of one another. What is it that I came to this Earth planet to do the Earth walk and dance and discover? See y'all next week. Ciao.